Good morning everyone. Whilst everyone's filing in, let me actually do the paperwork. So if you haven't seen a doctor to allow you to exercise, please see a doctor. If you don't want to see a doctor, you can always fill out my ParkU online, which is actually, just fill out the first page and the last page. You will find it pinned underneath this video on YouTube or on my website, or you could find it pinned at the top of my Facebook page. Send it to me and then we'll get exercising. Good morning everyone. Technical problems, everything alright? Won't be a moment. Need to clear my throat, sorry. Right. Is it me or is that loud? Right, so good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the 81st canned workouts. I almost forgot the name of my own show then. 26th of October 2020, it's 9:30 in the morning for you actually in the future, then you know exactly when I recorded it. While that matters, doesn't really matter really. Anyway, right, so today what I want to do is something I found actually on the paper. I'm going to start off with is this. I'm going to put it, I tried to get it up on my pad but I couldn't, so I'm going to put it there. So Ripped Grand 74, who started lifting weights at 70, sheds 5 stone. Okay, it has taken her 4 years to fully get to that goal, but the effect, if I can try and show you the picture, if it goes into focus, I doubt it will, but basically she looks really good and she lifts an awful lot of weight. So let's have a quick discussion about that quickly. So, lifting weights, brilliant for losing weight. We're doing it very similar here, but we're not lifting the heavy weights. Why? Because we're doing it in a class-based situation. It's best to actually do it with a personal trainer or in a gym, always supervised, especially at age. It's really good for osteoporosis, osteopenia, good for blood pressure, diabetes control, Alzheimer's, moods, very good for hormonal problems due to menopause and for male depression during let's say they want to go back to boyhood, things like that. Keeps everyone busy, keeps everyone working. What it does mention in there, it only mentioned in one line, is that basically she radically changed her diet as well. Basically, sensationalist pieces like that are really good, but you've got to read in between the lines. She did change her diet, and that's the main thing. When the daughter said to her, I think it's Joan McDonald, her daughter, that's not Joan, said, "Mum, I can help you, but you need to do exactly what I say." That's true. Basically, it's all about perseverance, motivation, and a lot of work really. But she looks good, she looks really good. She can lift almost as much as most blokes I know actually as well at that age. So there we go. Right, so that's brilliant. Good morning, morning. I think everyone's coming in now. So we'll do the we'll carry on with the myths, myth number 6, and then I'll actually go on with the information which I was actually going to do. I'm not going to do it at the end, I'm not going to let people hang on, there's no point. Right, myth 6. Carbs can make you fat, where the other day, fat can make you fat. As we just described on how fat is actually put on, let's put carbohydrates myth to bed too whilst we're at it. Carbohydrates get a bad rap and make no mistake. The availability of exceeding amounts of processed carbs, crisps, chocolate, sweets, etc. Yum. Bottom tummy though. Makes it difficult for people to adhere to a healthy nutrition approach, and it's also cheaper because it's easier to process and stuff like that. However, as already stated, if it's the surplus of calories alone that makes you fat, if carbohydrates make you fat, then populations who eat predominantly carbohydrates would have high obese rates, right? Well, one of the healthiest populations is the Okinawa Islands, located in the East China Sea. Their diet is around 85% carbohydrates, rice and sweet potatoes, and remarkably for every 100,000 inhabitants, Okinawa has as many as 5 times more people who live past 100 than any other nations. Take from that what you will. Now, actually, the main thing about that is basically the brain needs carbohydrates to work. So, if you're alive up there, you're alive down here as well. It's only if your heart gives out, then basically that overrules it. But that's one of the reasons why spousal deaths are very commonly close together, because they can't live with each other. So the basically one dies of what's called people call a broken heart, because their mind gives up. Now, of course, there are other factors that contribute to this, including the fact that they have smaller meals and lead very active lifestyles, expending energy by moving around a lot. Which brings us back to the point that really does boil down to energy balance. Nevertheless, if carbs really were the cause of fat gain, you could think that after decades of eating them, the natives of Okinawa would display a high index of obesity, but they don't. Sorry, my brain just actually completely missed that one. There are a few reasons why people think carbs make you fat, predominantly because when you eliminate them you lose a lot of weight, mainly due to water loss. As I've said, actually I've just read that on the line below, it's actually going to say what I've already stated about carbs. For every 1 gram of carbs your body holds approximately 3 grams of water. Absorption: when you make bread, you put water in, what happens? It absorbs it, becomes squidgy, really nice and easy. So when carbs are dropped in a lot of water, dropped, a lot of water leaves the body. The average person who stores around 500 grams of glycogen in their muscles and 100 grams in their liver, that would be 1,600 grams, 3 grams times 600, of stored water eliminated also, which is equal to about 3 or 4 pounds, which is 2 kilos almost. If someone drops the carbs for a day or two, you can see why people gravitate to the "it must be carbs that were actually making me put on weight now." They get instant success when they drop them, but actually, in actual fact, most of the weight loss is in water, if not all. There is also it also works the other way. As soon as carbs are reintroduced, water retention occurs at a rapid rate. Thus body weight increases. So that's why people balloon after their diets, because they reintroduce carbs too quickly and basically they start absorbing water immediately. And what happens when you absorb water? Well, if you have the small amount of water is fine. Basically you end up with you can see the musculature. Oops. Blood test for tomorrow. Right. But if you have a high content of water retention due to carbohydrates, you get that poofy look. Puffy. In the comments, poofy or puffy, or any other derivation of. So it looks a little bit more rounded, a bit of what they call baby fat. The truth: carbs are not the root cause of fat gain. I'm struggling today. Overeating is. If you have them in your diet and gain weight, if you're eating in a calorie surplus, or lose weight if you're eating in a calorie deficit. So basically, yeah, it's basically all about energy balance. It is. So you've got to be careful. I eat an awful lot of carbohydrates. I really do. I have a bagel for breakfast. I have a soup and a roll for lunch. I have carbohydrates for tea, and I even have an evening snack of probably crisps or a crisp sandwich sometimes if I'm actually really being extravagant, and probably a couple of biscuits throughout the day. I eat a lot, and there's not much there. I do burn it off. So the Okinawa idea is correct, that you can actually have a healthy life eating carbohydrates. It's all up to you how you want to get rid of it. Right, well, let's get that over and done with. I hope that hasn't put everyone to sleep. Right, so we're going to, again, at this point I kind of think, I should be doing something. That's it. Yes, the announcement. Right, we are getting up towards the 100th episode of canned workouts. I'd like to do something special, but I'm not sure what yet, and also I'm waiting for some things to come. So I hope that happens. More on that probably later, not later this episode, but later towards the 100 mark. But the main thing I want to actually put out is something that I've been discussing with some clients, is next year, June or July time, in the nice period, I was thinking getting people together to do the Yorkshire 3 Peaks challenge, all in one go. Okay? And the idea is to try and do it under the 12 hours and get the certificate. So if anyone's interested, please give me a bell or whatever. I will be creating a conditioning phase a couple of months beforehand, showing people how to actually deal with it. I might do some videos, get everyone up to speed. The idea is basically, before we actually go there, to actually walk up and down Pendle twice in a day, and make sure that you're actually not really knackered afterwards. So there we go. So that's it. It's basically a charity situation that everyone who comes, I'll give everyone an option about what charity they want to go for. Okay, so then we'll try and go for the most common consensus. Right, so shall we start? I think we should, because I've been yammering on for 12 minutes. Right, so let's start then. We'll start by doing bum kicks. Let's get nicely loosened up. Really work those, really try and keep those heels into your bottom to really get those thighs nicely worked. Because there's quite a few squats today. That's it, good. When you start feeling a little bit of pressure, that's when to stop. Right, march on the spot and keep the door open as well at the same time. Oh yes, today, right, the weights. Right, we're gonna have dumbbells, if you want, one weight. So keep on walking. If you don't have one weight and you want one weight, you can always put your dumbbells in a suitably heavy duty bag, like a reusable canvas one like this, hold it, and what we'll be doing, we'll be putting it on our shoulder, so one weight can go in front and behind. It sits nice and easy. Okay? Right, high knees. I must admit, after reading that story about Joan McDonald, I was glad that yesterday I got out and actually did my own heavy lifting for the first time in a while, actually, because I've been dealing with clients and the house and children. It's always good to get out, and I'm really enjoying the pain I've got, which is brilliant. So yeah, it does work. It's just consistency. Right, wide legs. Get those arms moving. Look like a monkey. Come on, look like me. You're in your house, no one's gonna laugh at you. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Right, what exactly have we got so I know what to do actually. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to touch alternate toes. Or go down as far as you can. Try and not get dizzy. Get those hamstrings stretched. Excellent. And what we're going to do now is going to reach up and out, and up and out. Excellent. For some reason I had this strange image of my head of actually Nelson's column, Angel of the North. Brilliant. Right, let's do the marching again. Point those toes down, work the front of those shins. Right, what we're going to do is going to get our elbows up and we're just going to roll them like a barrel. Like a barrel? Where did that come from? Don't know, I'm still on a postcard. Right, and let's reverse it. I always find this a lot more difficult to get the shoulder blades back. Right, excellent. Right, I'll quickly show you the first exercise. So if you march on the spot, that's fine. You can use both weights. If you use both weights, oh gosh, I've got them in a bag. We're going to separate them. So you'll be having the weights above one shoulder, and then you can put them above the other shoulder. If you're using one weight, like myself, you can hold it on one shoulder. I'm going to hold it like that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to squat down. So hips back, feet shoulder width apart, knees over your toes, knees following your toe direction. So back and up. I find it easier if I actually put myself directly over a line, and when I squat down, I'm looking at the line slightly. So if I slightly deviate off, I know which is my stronger leg. So then you push yourself back.
3,
so we're going to swap halfway
2,
through.
1.
Swap shoulders.
Exercise
And let's go.
1.1.
The reason why you've got it on one shoulder, it's better the heavier the weight you can get, is that it's actually working your abdominals. It's a really good abdominal exercise because it's working you in a cross direction. That's why I call it the cross body squat. And let's change sides. That's it, good. 10 seconds. It's like picking up your keys if you drop them off, you've got a shopping bag in your shoulder.
Change.
Right, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next one, which is squat and squat to lunge. So what we're going to do is we're going to get down into a squat position. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to a lunge, back to a squat position, back to a lunge. So we're not really going to get up at any time.
3.
Always keeping
2,
those thighs under tension.
Exercise 1.2.
And go back to reverse lunge. If you find problems with this, come up at each time. This is a very difficult one to do, especially for balance. So I'm trying to keep my arms up. That's why I like to do that, because it keeps my back nice and straight. It keeps me looking at the cooker, which I need to look at and think, we need to clean. That's what happens when you get your children baking. 10 seconds. 5.
3, 2, 1. Change.
Excellent. Right, so we're going to do another half and half at the moment. We're going to go knee up, knee out, knee up, knee out. I think we'll just do one side first and then we'll swap to this other side. So we'll go knee up, knee out,
3,
knee
2,
up,
1.
knee out.
Exercise 1.3.
So you're going knee up, knee out. Try and go to the side. Try not to rotate too much. You will rotate a little bit. It's more about the hip action. Changing legs in 3, 2, 1. You'll find one hip probably always got better range of motion, or ROM as we call it, than the other. This is my worst one, that's why I'm trying to keep my arms across the other side of the body
3,
so I can stop
2,
rotation.
1. Change.
Right, alternating raise. So we can go to the one weight again, which is a little bit heavier, or you can have your dumbbell down by your side. What we're just going to do is going to go out to the side, down, out to the side,
3, 2,
down. Halfway through
1.
we'll change.
Exercise 1.4.
Let's go. So I only want it up to shoulder height or just slightly higher. So I'm not leaning forward, not leaning back, keeping my tummy tight and keeping my bum tight at the same time. And let's change arms. you could do this with a carrier bag if you wanted. Just be careful when you come down, because if you have a carrier bag, the longer it is, the more chance of it actually smashing you on the side of the legs.
3, 2, 1, change.
Excellent, good. Right, we'll change. So we're going to go back to the dumbbells. If you already haven't got the dumbbells, we're going to do dumbbell upright rows. So this is great with bands. So what you just do is you have the dumbbells in front of you, by your thighs. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your elbows up, slightly in front of your shoulders,
Exercise 1.5.
and bring them up towards your face. Up and down. So it's basically almost like a huge shrug. Like you're trying to pull the sheets off a bed, or you're trying to put the duvet back in. Make sure though, your elbows are in front and your hands can go wherever they want. The worst exercise for your shoulders is actually an upright row with a straight bar, because it's so straight it can put external rotation and snap your joint
3,
together,
2,
and also it's bad for your
1.
wrists.
Change.
Right, so we've got bent over dumbbell rows. So now what we're going to do, we're going to stick our bottom back into like a skiing position, weights down by our shins. We're going to bring our weights up to our waist.
3.
So once I get to your waistline,
1.
you can drop down.
Exercise 1.6.
So elbows up behind the spine and down, so it's a row. So you're doing a bent over dumbbell row. Trying to keep our back nice and straight. How do you do that? Look up. Keep your shoulder blades back when you go up. Trying to see what I've got to do now. It's, oh gosh, there's one more exercise. That's it. Three, 2, 1.
Change.
Excellent, good. Right, we're going to change. And what we're going to do this time is we are going to do like a good morning. So we're going to bend at the hips. We're going to put our dumbbells down. I'm just going to let them go wherever they want.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we're going to do a pendulum.
Exercise 1.7.
So you can force them to go forward and backwards. Just mind your shins together, mind your knuckles. Or you can do round circles. But try and get that back nice and straight. Keep that figure 7 position. You might round your back slightly because your arms are actually being pulled down. But as long as you're looking at the ground, you should feel a pull slightly on the back of your hamstrings. But this is a good core strengthener as well, because you're bent over and you're actually trying
3, 2,
especially if you do
1.
side to side.
Water break.
That's quite a good one for water break, goodness me. That's basically just going, I won't blind you by my false spot, but from side to side, you can feel your tummy needing to tighten every time it goes past the lowest point. So you can do that as well, but that tends to self-balance it out. It's not as good. So, what I hear on your lips at the moment is, why do you keep mentioning core in the main section when we've got a core section? Well, it's not a huge core action, it's just stabilisation, and it's the smaller muscles we're trying to work at that point, whereas in the core section, it's actually the bigger muscles we're trying to work. That's why there's a core section. Right, so we're going to go back to the 1 weight, or 2 dumbbells if you want. We're going to go back to the cross-body squat. So we'll start on the opposite shoulder you had first time. So whatever you finished off with last time, you start on that side. So feet slightly wide your shoulders apart.
2, 1.
I'll go diagonally. And let's go. So bottom back and up. Bottom back and up. That's it. You can use your hand for balance, quite simply, wherever you feel as though you're actually going over. Good. Swap sides in 3, 2, 1, and swap sides. Ten seconds.
3,
2,
1.
1. Brilliant. Right,
Change.
squat to lunge. It's really not. This should be more of a different name actually. I should have called this something else. Because squat to lunge is basically you expect to come up afterwards, but this is where you have to stay down.
3, 2, 1.
So let's go down.
Exercise
And back.
2.2.
And forward. And swap. And forward. And swap. That's it. Good. You're chasing that hamster around the living room. If you haven't got a hamster, borrow one. So always stepping back, making sure that your knees are always behind your toes. If you can see your toes, you're in a good position. If you can't, you're not.
3, 2, 1. Change.
Right, knee up and out. Now I could ask the impossible of actually doing both at the same time, but I won't because I can't do it either. So remember, it's knee up, knee out, knee up,
3,
knee out.
2,
Really work those
1.
glutes.
Exercise 2.3.
Out, up, out. Sounds like my mum when I was a teenager. Out, get up, get out. Actually, it was me actually telling the girls actually this morning they wouldn't get out of bed. School holidays and all. Right, and change sides. So this is the side one is more like an oblique jack, but you're not actually bringing your shoulders down to meet it. Because we want more of the hip action rather than the oblique action.
3, 2, 1. Change.
Alternating lateral raise. So if you get tired really quickly, especially if you've got two weights, you can always do one side, swap, do the other side. You can even do it with one weight, as you can see. Quite simple.
3.
So
2,
I'm going to leave it up to you
1.
which one you want to do.
Exercise
I'm going to go
2.4.
one side. I like one side because it retards momentum. Also, because if you have momentum, it'll smack you on the side and it hurts. And let's change sides. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1.
Change.
Brilliant. Right, dumbbell upright row. You can actually use one weight for this as well, especially if you've got like a kettlebell or a handle or a shopping bag. You can actually bring it up, basically just under the chin and down again. It's a lot easier that way. You've got more control over it.
2, 1.
And let's go with the dumbbells.
2.5.
Oh, this feels good in my chest. A nice stretch as I go up. Try to get the shoulder blades back as I go up. Really get that chest nicely stretched. "15 seconds. Keep it going.
3,
2, 1. I should have done those
Change.
yesterday. Oh, started feeling it then. It started coming back to me yesterday after doing the heavy ones. So we're going to do bent over rows. Good job I didn't do any rows yesterday.
3, 2, 1.
I'm going to go down.
Exercise
I'm going to pull up to my waist. Remember, trying to get that elbow above your spine to really work the back of your shoulders, your rhomboids, and some of your lower traps. 15 seconds.
Three,
2, 1. Excellent.
Change.
Right, so remember we got the weighted pendulum next. I hope no one gets lightheaded when they're over.
3,
2. So bend over,
1.
figure of 7.
Exercise 2.7.
I'm going to go from side to side. Start off with. Really start that core activation. This is more about momentum actually, just let it go. Like the office toys. You can even put your legs wider, go really forward and back, then you can really feel it, and you can feel it in your hamstrings as well. You can even go one out the other side of your legs. A little bit of direction, doesn't harm, sorry. Bit harder that way.
3, 2, 1. Water break.
Excellent. Second time through, again, really quickly. Right, almost ready for the next time through. Oh, water. It's a good idea, especially on a cold day like this. You shut the doors, the heating's on. Oh, my finger. Right, so why is that a double line? No idea how to change that. So looking at my notes, it was confusing me then. Right, so cross body squats. We're going to get the one weight back, or the 2 dumbbells, or 2 dumbbells in a bag. Don't use a child for this. They might slip off your shoulder. You can start with any shoulder you want. I'm going to go back to the first one, doesn't really matter.
3.
This time I'm going to go slightly wider with the stance.
3.1.
Going to go down and up. Really work the under part of your glutes. Remember to try and push those knees out. Footballers won't have much problem with this. And swap sides. See, I'm even down there. I'll just check and see if I'm level in the middle. Yep. It's almost like we're trying to lay an egg.
3,
2, 1. Brilliant.
Change.
Right, we're going to do squat to lunge again. I'm sure you're really looking forward to this one. So remember, we're going to stay down, low.
3, 2, 1.
I'm
Exercise
back.
3.2.
So the closer your feet is together, the more you've got to balance as well. So that activates your core a lot more as well. And if you've got very thin trainers like I have, you will fall over. I've got long feet. Even a G-fitting of my feet looks thin. Alright. So stay low. Three, 2, 1.
Change.
Excellent, right. Oh, knee up and out. I completely phased then.
Three.
You can really tax your brain and do one
1.
side, one then the other side.
Exercise
But it's up to
3.3.
you. I'm just going to go halfway through because basically I find it hard enough like to remind you of that. And let's change sides. So if you can only get your leg up to there, it doesn't really matter as long as you're actually moving your leg, that's the main thing. Right, so we got alternating lateral raise. So really this should have actually been done. I thought to think about it now, I should have actually changed it so it's actually holding from 1 to 10. I should do it all together.
3, 2, 1. Exercise 3.4.
If you put your hand on your shoulder, you should feel your muscle working as well. Also, it helps you keep your shoulder blades down with your lateral raise. Though you can't really swap your hands really easily. That's why it's only one side. And swap sides. Whenever you swap sides, try and swap sides with about a second to go, because otherwise your other side, normally the weaker side, always works less.
3, 2, 1. Change.
Right, we've got dumbbell upright rows. So I'll show you actually with the bag. Gotta be careful not to smack yourself in the parts.
3, 2.
So I'm going to grab hold of the bag like that.
Exercise
I'm just going to
3.5.
pull them up. Unfortunately, ladies, you'll have something in the way. None of the children. So try and get those shoulder blades up. Really feel that back pulling as you pull up. Good thing about having the weights in front of you is you've got to keep them nicely far forward so they don't rub up and down your stomach and your chest. And your children. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Change.
Brilliant. Right, we're going to do dumbbell bent over rows. I should know that. I've already done it twice. There you go. Very done with
3, 2,
style.
1.
Right.
Exercise
And let's do
3.6.
those rows. Keep it going. Five, 3.
3, 2, 1.
Brilliant, right, we've got the
Change.
pendulums next. And then I'm going to introduce you to the mats because I've never actually introduced them before, sorry. Mats. People, mats. They're just in front. Right, so we're ready for the pendulum. So remember to sit your bottom back, hinge at the hips
3,
only.
2,
And then
1.
go whichever way you want.
Exercise 3.7.
I'm mesmerised by this black tile. At this point, you think, oh, I'll put the paper down there and read it. And then I realise, don't get a money paper.
3, 2, 1. Water
Excellent,
break.
good, right, water break, and then I'll quickly go over the core exercises. Right, I will put it at a slight angle, because the second one will require a little bit more room. So what we're going to do is we're going to get down on the floor in an ab crunch position. Can you see? Alright, you can see-ish. I'll turn sideways just to show you this one. So you've got your feet and knees at a 90-degree angle. What you're going to do is you have your dumbbells up in front of you, and you're going to pull up and sit up, and then down again. If you need a cushion, please put a cushion under your back. Well, under your bottom, not under your back. You don't want to push up your spine. This is called an Otis Up. So we're going to do 15 of these. Quite difficult. The next one, what we're going to do is we're going to put our arms out, have out one leg up, and we're going to go over and back up again, and over and back up again. How many have we done for this? 16, so that's 8 on each side. And then we're going to do a weighted glute bridge, so you can use one weight or you can use both, where you put your feet quite close to your bottom,
3,
the weight
2,
into your hips,
1,
and then you can push
3
up.
times 2.
Okay, so shall we get into the Otis Ups position? If you find this difficult, you can always put the weights down into your chest and just do ab crunches. Are you ready? Got 15 of these, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the mat's tickling my bald spot. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you can see I am actually using the weights a little bit. 13 to get me up. It's the momentum, otherwise you really won't get yourself up. 14, 15, especially after 15. Right, so I'm going to use the weights just to give me a little bit of counterbalance for this one. So straight legs, one leg up, one leg out. I'm going to go over and back up, and 2, and back up. 3, try and keep those shoulder blades on the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Swap legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Now, weighted glute bridge, we've got 20. So I just had to check. Are you ready? So basically put the weights into the curvature where your hips are and push up. 1, 2, or you can put them on your thigh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Excellent. Like Joan, if you put a bench behind you then, and you were doing that, that's a hip thruster, what people call hip thrusters. She could do 90 kilos thrusting on that, so a barbell across there, and about 8 kilos heavier than I am. She can do that. For how many? It doesn't say, but she can do a lot. So she can hip thrust a person. Right, are we ready to do the Otis Ups again? Come on, I know you are. We're enjoying it. Right, arms up. And try and use those abs to get you up as well, not just momentum. And let's go. 1. You might want to put your feet a little bit further out if you want. Sometimes I find it easier. 3. Especially wider. 4. 5 or underneath the sideboard. 7, I think. Lost count. 8, we'll keep it 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Almost there. 13. 14. 15. Brilliant. Right, we'll do the single leg overs. And 1. 2. Don't have to go all the way over, it depends on how much. 3. Range of motion you've got. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Oh, 9. The 9 there. We'll do 9 on the other side. 1. Sorry, I was actually just thinking about my blood test for tomorrow. 2. I shouldn't. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Excellent. I'm just surprised that every time I count I don't fall asleep. Right, so weighted glute bridge. And 1, 2, 3, 4,
3,
5,
2,
6,
1. Cool down.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Excellent. Right, I'm going to put the dumbbell down to the side, move the mat slightly around so you can see. And what we're going to do is just going to do single leg hamstring stretch. Hand behind the thigh, try not to bend your leg. What we're going to do something a little bit different today. When I say push, I want you to really grab behind your leg and try and push your leg backwards as far as you can, plus the release, and then pull it back towards you. Okay? This is normally done with 2 people, but you can actually do this one yourself. It's called a P&F stretch. And push. And release. If you notice, you probably have got your leg about 1/2 inch to 1 inch closer towards you. That's because what you've just done is you've actually just forced a contraction in your leg, so it forgets where it actually is stretched out to. So when you release it, you can pull it a little bit further and suddenly it goes, oh, I don't want to go any further. You only do it 2 or 3 times if you ever want to do it yourself. That's a good way of developing your hamstrings. Excellent. Right, we're going to pull our knee into our chest. Really pull nicely tight. Hopefully you might feel a nice pull over your glutes. Put your hands behind your thigh. Keep your thigh into your chest. Lift your leg up as far as you can. Doesn't matter if it's bent. Oh, I've got a bit of dust in my eye. I'm gonna shoot. 2, 1, back down again. Let's swap sides. And press. And release. So about 3 seconds when you press, 3 to 6 seconds, and then you can actually release and then pull back. So we'll do that again. And press, because this is your weak leg, and release. You'll find that it won't go back as far as the other leg. It's always good to try and find the leg which is tighter or weaker. But this one really wants to collapse in like that. I'm really forcing it to keep up. And pull your knee into your chest. Sorry about that, slight cold. Hand behind your thigh. Lift that leg up. You might not have felt much in your first leg. But you're probably feeling a lot in this leg because, as I said, it's a tighter and weaker leg. It's not always the case. There's always those odd people out there. You know who you are. I would never begrudge calling you odd because I'm odd myself. I'm proud of it. Right, and let's go down. Excellent, good. Gosh, I'm on a roll today, aren't I? Rolling uphill or downhill, I'm not sure. Right, so let's stand up. What we do is stretch forward with our shoulders. Really stretch forward. And if you notice my hand, I've got hold of one hand like that. That's how most people hold it. But what you'll realise is you're actually stretching one side more than the other, so swap over. Did you feel the change? Right, let's roll that back up. Excellent. Chest out.
2, 1. Your timer is complete.
Not just yet, just one more stretch. Interlace your hands, turn them over, push up. If you've got bad wrists, this can be good for your wrist, depending what's wrong with your wrists. If it hurts, then just grab hold of the wrist and pull up. But remember to swap halfway through. 3, 2, 1, and rest. And thank you very much everyone for a good workout. Went fast today. I'm glad. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed it because I enjoyed it. I'm glad about that. Have a good week up until Wednesday morning, and then we'll have step up at 9:30. And I'll see you all there for then. I hope you have a healthy, happy, wonderful, God-filled day, and see you later on. You take care. God bless.